Proxy. A figure that can be used to represent the value of something in a calculation.
Aw. Does that mean I'm not real?
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Oh.
Wait, is that my shirt?
No.
That's not an easy effect. That was harder to put together than I thought. Anyway. So we're at it again. We're back at it again. So are the dogs, apparently. You'll hear them. That's Hazel. Anyway, so at the time of this recording, the website that I got these cards from has been, I'm hoping, cease and desisted to oblivion. They simply just say that they're coming soon, and that was fabproxies.com, FABPROXIES. Yeah, here we go. But it doesn't change the fact that there are these out in the world, and I will gladly own that I have 4 of them. But the nice thing is that, well, it's not really nice, it's just you kind of got to go with me on it, is I'm going to spend a little bit of time showing you how to tell these apart from the real thing. And I wanted to make sure that I got cards that I had exactly as I bought them. So these are foil, these are foil. So yeah, we're gonna look into these pretty closely. Funny thing, you guys might remember I did the other ones. I still have them. I still have them as fakes, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I'll show these off as far as like what exactly look for when you're taking a pic. If somebody's taking a picture and trying to sell these to you, because I know you can like jeweler's loop and all that stuff, but you're not gonna get a jeweler's loop image, sent to you over Messenger. That's not a thing. So if somebody's trying to buy it, what are the things to look for that you can see with the naked eye that are clearly, that clearly show that these are, to call them proxies is a little bit wrong. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Beer for the day. I don't remember where you're from. Where are you from? Lincoln, Nebraska. Zipline. Copper Alt. I feel like I've had this beer and I feel like I didn't like it. So we'll figure that out. Sweetheart Festival in Loveland today. It's where I'm heading after pretty much I filmed this video. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And beer glass for the day. Black Bottle. God, I miss these guys. I really need to get back there. It's been hard to want to go to a brewery since the wife's been pregnant. Just because I want to include her. So we've been doing mocktail dates and whatnot. Because there's a lot of places that have a mocktail menu that are really good and also just as expensive for some reason. But yeah, so we've been doing those. But it also means I'm not really jumping out to beers from time to time. But if you're in Fort Collins, oh, these guys, phenomenal. Same with phenomenal food. And if their food doesn't work, they've got a great Nashville hot chicken place, right next door. So yeah, that's what we've got. That's what we have going on. Ooh, I love the color of that. That is a good color for a copper alt. Off we go. That's better. That's a solid pour right there. Boom. Love it. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Okay. Yeah, no. Actually, that's a really good beer. Wow. Okay, Zipline. All right, anyway, that's a minute just wasted on me with beer. So here's what's gonna work. Basically, I'm just gonna flip the camera, and I'm gonna show these things off to you, and we'll talk about what the stuff that we know is, as far as what the safety measures are that Fab puts on their cards, and then I will show off the new guys, and we'll compare them to the not the fake ones, the other ones. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna flip the camera. I'll see you guys in just a sec. This is gonna feel a little bad, but in this stack is a stack of real cards and a stack of fake cards. And what we're going to start off with is I'm going to shuffle these up. I'm going to shuffle these up, and we're going to I'm going to lay them out and see if you can figure out what the real ones are versus what the fake ones, just from a top-down approach. And the reason I'm doing it this way is because chances are this is how you would see them in a picture, is you would just get a top-down, or you wouldn't get a jeweler's loop. So we're not going to do that. So anyway, let's lay these out. And we're going to see just from this right here by itself, if you can tell which ones are the real ones and which ones are the fake ones. And I've got to do that myself. Okay. I've got it. I got it for a different reason than you do. So if you guessed the bottom Arcanite shard, this entire column, and this Arcanite skullcap, these are your fakes, and these are the real ones. So let's go over exactly how I know this, how I was able to tell. And I'm going to put these over to the side, and then we're going to compare these side by side, piece by piece. I think I mentioned before, I want to make sure that I've got, I got foils of these, and I got foils of these that I'm showing off as well, so you can really see what they look like. So we're going to put these off to the side, yeah, we'll take these in. Cheeky little thing with the mat. I know if you're like, oh, Herald Protection, I see what he did there. It's more that this has the less color difference of any of the mats that I have, so it's just a little easier to hone in and focus. So first things first, let's zoom this bad boy in real close. Closer. There we go. Okay. So first thing out of the gate, when I got these in top loaders, and they were able to fit 2 in a top loader. I was like, whoa, okay, that's pretty cool. And they were super flat. But as over time, these things pringle like crazy. So it is, that's actually how I was able to tell, I was just looking back, and I could tell the difference. Just by what was pringled and what wasn't, or what was really pringled and what wasn't. But again, that's not going to be something that you notice on a picture of these things. So let's hone in and focus specifically on how we can tell the difference between any one of these, ideally through just a picture. And thankfully, these are a lot easier to tell. Weirdly, I don't know why they must have not watched my last video, but the last one that I did, which is with these two. Come here. With these two guys, I showed off some pretty clear ways to tell, and it looks like they use the same template for this. So when you're trying to make a proxy, if you're definitely trying to cheat, one of the things that you'll do is you'll get lost in the idea of the perfectest of perfect quality. So you'll create everything from scratch. So in this case, I'm going to use the Art of War since I have one of those out. So they created as much as they could from scratch, and one of the easiest ways I was able to tell, you can tell the difference, especially in the Art of War, comes in the moon graphics. Oops, I should compare it to a real one. So if you look at the moon graphic on the fake one specifically, let's get in real tight. Hope that works. If you look at the moon graphic, you can see that it's a lot sharper. It's a lot more spread out versus the real one that is thicker, and it's kind of a lot more tight knit. Now, what I'm thinking is going on, and I don't know exactly the printing process for Fab, is that this, there's clearly some kind of a bleed that's happening on the cards. It's subtle, but thankfully it's enough that it expands things out. So one of the other key indicators of the cards themselves is that they are the text itself is really sharp. It is really, really sharp. Again, going back to the Fab, where it does look, it's still sharp, it's definitely legible, but it almost looks like it's a little bit bolder. It's not as crisp. It's not as crystal clear. So that's kind of one of the key things for to be able to tell the difference between the cards, between a proxy and a not, is how crazy sharp is a real one. Is the actual text on the card. So anyway, let's get, this is the fake one. Real one out of the way. I'll put that over there. So let me show off, I'll show off real and fake. And actually, let's do it this way. Let's see if you can figure it out. I'm going to shuffle these guys up. It's only 2. But we'll go left and right. Which one's real, which one's fake? I'm too zoomed in. Whatever. This one's the fake one. This one. That one right here. This one's fake. Sorry. I was trying to get cute. My mistake. Anyway, so things that I can notice, other things I notice that are fake, and it's again, they use the same template. So on top of the actual text itself, being super sharp, the sheen of these things is it's a lot glossier. It's a lot glossier than I was used to. Pull these things out and whoa, okay. It's almost, so glossier is basically going to come out, it's almost it's a little greasier. It's like the slick of a bowling ball. If you've gone bowling. Like think about like how a bowling ball has that kind of sheen that varies clearly, like there's been like an oil or something on top of it. Fab cards don't necessarily, they're a little bit flatter. Again, I don't know how well this is going to be able to tell. How you'll be able to tell from this one. We'll see if the, like, I'm hoping like autofocus isn't like taking over. Also, like this is kind of showing upside down for me, so it's a little tricky. But it's just not as glossy. It's just not as oily looking. Again, that's going to be something that's kind of hard to figure out, like from a top down. But when you're holding one in your hand, you'll look at it and be like, oh, this feels a little, like, again, kind of oily. Honestly, a little oily. One of the biggest factors, and this is actually going to be something that's consistent with every single one of these cards, is the bottom. This is probably like the best indicator, hands down, of whether or not you're looking at a fake card, and it's one of those you can clearly see it with a naked eye. So with the text down to the bottom, again, they're recreating. Right? They're recreating. And one of the nice parts about when you have white text on black is it's not like you printed white text. That's not a thing that happens. You're printing around it, which means you're printing everything, and it's a black that's going over, and it's just kind of outlining it. So again, you go back into like ideas of bleed and things like that. This is clearly a recreation, and it's like the same. It's like the same font, and it's just off. So here's the real one. This is a real card, where it's thicker, again, it's a thicker looking font like this. It's again, not as sharp. It's just not as sharp. And this, it's also like a little bit taller, I've found, if you really dive in. But this is something that you'll see as a consistent theme through pretty much all of these, is that this bottom text right here is going to be like, it's just going to look way the heck off from a normal Fab card. And you consider things like templating and whatnot. This isn't really something that like Fab's going to have a one-off of a screw up. That's just not how templating on a sheet works. So yeah, that's what it is. I know that some people in the past were also able to tell the color differences between the two. That's another thing that I very much noticed. There's a bigger hit of yellow. It's just very much like a different. They used a different yellow. It's actually probably, all things considered, it's actually a difference in cyan, or magenta, sorry. The red one. It actually looks like a little bit of a different hue in the magenta. So the colors look off. But again, if this is all that I'm showing you, you don't really have like a side-by-side comparison for that. So you can be like, yeah, the colors look off, but like, that could be lighting, that could be a billion things. So the stuff that like naked eye kind of things, these are going to be really well defined, a lot more well defined, a lot sharper. The text is going to be a lot sharper. Text down here is going to be a heck of a lot sharper. Yeah, those are your themes. Really quickly cover it. The back also, we'll do the backs. LSS does have a couple. I remember how I'm going to be doing this. LSS does have a couple of things in place, and I'm not going to like zoom in and show them too hard, but you can sort of semi-see them, and it's one of those like oddly subjective type of things, which the first big one is right here, the TM. So when these backs are printed, and again, this is speculative as far as how it's done, but when you get something like really, really specific, like really small, like what the LSS thing is that I'll show you next, as well as something like this that is actually kind of designed to be placed differently, this is almost like a completely separate plate that they're printing with. This isn't just flesh and blood with TM in the bottom, and then however it prints, it's how it prints. This actually often feels like it looks like it's printed kind of first, and then everything else is printed kind of over top of it. So it's got like a weird kind of bleed through. So with the TM on these, like if you look in really close, like it's really, really well defined on a fake card. That yellow is really well defined. Whereas on a Fab card, it kind of looks like, let's see if, come on. Can only go so much here. Let's see if I can, does that help? No. I don't actually even know where that light is coming from, honestly. I know where it's coming from. It's coming from the little light on the Brio. That's great. You're great. Anyway, yeah, you can kind of see it. We'll see how well the zoom in goes. Let's go. Yeah, Yeah, it's not going to get there. Whatever. It's not as clear. It is not as super holy crap well defined. If you were to put them up side by side, like so. There we go. So clear, the fake one, very clear TM. The other one is actually in the bottom, in the corners, top and bottom. I think it's these, but very, very closely inside of, on one of the lines are the letters LSS. And again, that's one of those, that's like a separate plate and you're doing it afterwards. That's not a normal printing. If you have bleed happening like this, that's kind of bolding stuff out a little bit, you are not getting a microscopic little LSS unless there is another process that is doing that. And again, that's not something you'll find on these cards, but that's jeweler's loop kind of stuff. And I don't really want to do jeweler's loop kind of stuff. So again, naked eye, look how sharp things are. All right, so that's the Art of War. Art of War. So the thing I had last time, oops, that's a real Art of War. let's get that in our proper sleeve. Let's get you in my back of the fake sleeve. So the last time I did this video, the thing I didn't have was equipment. So again, we'll do this, and I won't take as long this time because you're going to see similar themes. But we'll go again. This time I will pull this out just a little bit. Here we go. Which is which? Which is the real one? Which is the fake one? Sorry, that's me sipping a beer. Fake one. Right here. One, I've got the cheat sheet, which is the Pringle. So there's actually a couple of different ways on pieces of equipment. I'll show you the same thing with the Fendels. But again, we'll do the similarities things first. Again, I'm going to focus in so heavily on, wow, this text looks really sharp. It looks really crisp as you get into the actual text box of the cards themselves. Let's go in real close. It is really, really sharp text, and this looks like it's just kind of bled out a little bit. There's a little bit more. Again, same thing on the bottom. Same thing with that text that we saw from the Art of War. Put the two together. Same, it's clearly they replicated it. Or they just retyped the whole thing, and again, it's just sharper. It's taller. It's taller looking. It's just different looking, but it's a different looking that doesn't feel intentional. It doesn't match the rest of what a card would normally look like. It's so well defined down there. Usually, again, hands down, this is the easiest way for me to tell the difference between the two, is just how freaking sharp and thin this text looks. So the other thing on these specifically, I'm going to pull back out just a little bit. The other thing on these specifically is, so we chatted, I showed off a little bit of, so this is the real one. The borders themselves also, so on a legendary, borders themselves also are rainbow. Let's see if I can get this to go. So you can see the borders are also, they also are rainbow-y. And there's a foil, there's a film over the entirety of this. So really when you're looking at when you're doing foils, it's really how opaque is the foil filming on top. That's kind of what's happening. But in a given legendary as well, the actual border does have a kind of it's a distinguished foil, or it's a distinguished rainbow foil. You can see it over on the left. I think it's your left. That as I kind of go up and down, you can see that it's very much rainbow. These guys don't have that distinguished rainbow look. You can see as I'm pulling up and down, the actual border, the bronze border, does not give me any actual rainbow reflection at all. Again, naked eye kind of stuff, that's going to be one of those dependent on angles. But if you're holding the thing in your hand and you're you see an issue, there's an issue. So again, it's there. You can also see there's a color. There's off in color just a little bit. Again, the magentas again. The magenta strikes again. So these are just gonna feel a lot deeper. This is the real stuff. This is the real stuff, guys. This is real. So yeah, the magentas are just off again. But back to it. Big distinguishing factors between the two is that wonderful little bottom of the text thing, super sharp text, and in this case, if you're holding one in your hand, does the bronze border actually give you that rainbow foil look, and if not, you're holding a fake. Let's rinse, lather, and repeat for the tunic, so you can see that one. Get that guy back in his sleeve. Yes, it does feel a little dirty to bring these things out. So same thing with the tunics. It is the same exact problem. Up and down the board. Let's get the flashlight back up. Flashlight back up. So again, naked eye stuff. You can see the. Let's get you in. Let's hold this differently. You can see that the border. Come on. There we go. You can kind of see how the. You can see that border, that bronze border, definitely has like a rainbow sheen to it, a rainbow foil to it, whereas this guy does not. Can't. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm also like, again, this whole thing's like upside down, so it's really tricky for me to like figure out where everything's at. So there we go. Oh my god, there we are. Okay. Sorry, a little bit of a slip there. But yeah, you can see it's just not really rainbow foil there. Here we go. So yeah, same issues with the tunic. Text is super sharp. Bottom. Last one I want to show off is the Arknight. Is the Arknight shard, because same again, consistent things, but we might as well show it off. We'll do the little game one more time and see if you can pick it apart just from look, just from top down look. And if you're ever here, you're right. This is your fake, by the way. This is the fake. This one's actually a little bit. This one's easier for kind of some odd reasons, because this almost looks like it's a lot more scratched. Just naturally, and again, that's that kind of oily sheen that it has on the card itself. It just fades everything out, And then the other thing is, we've already talked about like the magenta, the clear difference in like just the use of magenta and the deepness of magenta. So when you have a big purple card, yeah, duh, you're gonna be able to tell there's kind of a color difference. But again. I'm not, it only works if I'm like selling you two. Like, you're not gonna ask somebody like, can you put a real one on there? So like, it's gonna be a matter of like, is this fake or is this real? And that one was real. Is this fake or is this real? That was also real. And then fake or real. Like, if you were to go like instantly tell them like, oh yeah, totally fake. Like, maybe, but. Again, I want to put more of the focus on like the things that you can really dive into and really just tell. So Fable still, I actually knows about Fables, but Fables also have they have the rainbow on the borders themselves. I just am struggling. So yeah, the actual, let's see, there we go. But yeah, the borders themselves are also rainbow. Man, it's like I was good at this at the beginning of this, and now it's not. That's what I get. That's what alcohol will do to you, I guess. So yeah, the borders are actually also rainbow tinted, and again, as you can expect, these are very much not. Here we go. Come on, zoom. There we go. Very much not rainbowy. And for the umpteenth time, bottom issues. That bottom text, the copyright text, thicker, like clearly bleeds somewhere or something. Like, what, I don't know what it is, but the sharpness and the definition of this text, this is actually one you can also really tell, at least in my opinion, on the text boxes themselves, of just how well defined the text on the fake one is, like how sharp, how crisp the text on the fake one is, versus one that isn't, versus one that's officially LSS. Again, I feel like it's a bleed. I feel like it is, and maybe they do like the borders and the other part differently, and that's why like you would expect to see something more like this if the black is like bleeding in to the white. By rule, it really should be thinner text. So I don't know. Maybe they do this in stages. Maybe it's different. But whatever. But yeah, that's the that's kind of the breakdown of the 4. And actually, what I'm going to do, we're going to do this. I'm going to take you guys out one more time. So we're going to test your knowledge. Testing your knowledge. Let's pull this back. Pull it up. Up. Like so. I'm going to grab these. We're going to grab the real ones. I'm going to give these a good, hearty shuffle. Good, hearty shuffle. Like, I'm, like, well, as much as I, like, really want, oh, God, please don't do those. As much as, like, I want to shuffle what is effectively, like, $600-$700 worth of cards, you know, and crap freaking proxies. But we're going to go, and here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to side-by-side these things, all right? We're going to go lightning round. I'm going to go lightning round, okay? So I'm going to take this stack. We're just going to flip it over, and we're going to see just top of your head, all right? And I'll get these zoomed in so you kind of know exactly what you're looking at. We'll get like the whole card because this is what we're really going to see. Flip it over, real or fake. I'll give you like 3 seconds per. Okay, so here we go. First one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's real. Next one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's fake. Next one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's fake. Next one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's real. Next one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's real. Next one, real or fake. 3, 2, 1. That one's real. And, well, that's 4 reals, 4 fakes. So there's the other fakes. Huzzah, off we go. But yeah, that's your breakdown. I'm going to flip the camera back one more time, finish the beer, and say so long to everybody. So my apologies for, like, some of the blurry moments of that, and I'm not like, you know, super professional. I'm really doing this while like we're getting ready to go. So, you know, it all looks probably a little bit weird, and I can only apologize. So I apologize also like for some of the blurriness and the fact that I look like I got a tan while we were on camera. I don't have answers. That's what lights are for, right? I can just boop there. That's a little better. There we go. I look a little more human, I guess. But yeah. That's a breakdown of proxies, I can't even call these proxies because the idea of a proxy is that it's not supposed to be indistinguishable, and these very much they look like they're trying to be indistinguishable. They look like they're trying to pass them off so strongly as the real thing. That's not a proxy anymore. That's a counterfeit. And I know that there are people who have been, like, I posted this on Twitter that I was doing this, and somebody was like, yeah, no, I got burned by this. Yeah, if you can in fact get like hosed by buying something that you think is real and they're saying it's a proxy, it's not a proxy. That's counterfeit attempt. Period. So I'm glad that site's down, but again, as they're all want to do, they will pop back up. It will happen again. You will see more. They'll find themselves onto the market. So be careful, protect yourself. Naturally, if you're getting into like big stuff, like the bigger cards and whatnot, you know, you're gonna want to get yourself like you're gonna want to like get better pictures, take a good look. But like I said, like every single time that bottom piece, that bottom little section, I think even the E-Strike had that same. E-Strike didn't actually have that problem, but like everything else was. So let's take the E-Strike out. The E-Strike didn't have that much of an issue on the bottom. Strange, it's like the only card that doesn't. But the rest of the text is also like the rest of the text is like really sharp. It's just really freaking sharp. And that's just always been the thing I've been able to tell. Like that, how a paper absorbs ink, is not something you can really fake. So that's usually like a really good way to look at it. And again, the magentas and whatnot, just all over the map. So that's what I have for you. I really want to try to finish this. Thank you for spending the time. If you know of any other tricks, or other ways to see it, again, really by the naked eye. I'm trying to. I don't want to do like the jeweler's loop stuff. Like, go for it. But again, I'm not going to scam you. If I go to somebody and they're like, hey, I want to buy this. I want to sell you this card. And like, awesome. Can I get a jeweler's loop? They're going to be like, no. And there you go. You're done. Like, you figured it out. You figured out they're scamming you. So I'm more interested in like the naked eye kind of stuff. So if it happens again, if we see another batch from a different group, if we see a different template, doesn't make the same stupid mistakes that they're like the top corner and like all the sharpness stuff. If you see it again, you'll see me back. We'll do this again because that's a bunch of crap, and that's not something that I want to have get popular. So happy to educate, happy to share everybody. This will be it from me. I'll do one more. There we go. Finished up. I think we're about a half-hour mark. I didn't want to timer this one; it was a little bit too important. But yeah, if you have any other thoughts or any other things to note and let the world know when it comes to making sure that people are protected from this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments, and make content, or I'll make content and send me cards, and I'll happily show stuff off. But that's all I have for you. Cheers, everybody.